When you think of Targa top sports cars, you think of cars like the 911 Targa. And when you think of 90s Japanese sports cars, you think of stuff like the Toyota Supra, the Nissan Skyline. This over here is actually a combination of both. This is a Honda CRX Delsol. It is a Targa top, two-door, 90s Japanese sports car. I'm over here at Drip Shop Pune and I'm going to tell you all about this amazing car.
The 90s in Japan was one of the craziest decades in the Japan domestic market. This is the era of the MK4 Supra, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, the Nissan Skyline R33 GTR and the Honda NSX. Honda had already set their mark with the NSX and it was time for their baby sports car, the CRX, to get an update. At this point, the mighty Mazda Miata was taking the market by storm. So Honda had to come up with something revolutionary. So what did they do? They took the Civic's platform, put in a peppy 1.6 VTEC in it, make it push significantly more power than its competitors and make it look like an exotic car. That's how the Honda CRX Delsol or the Civic Delsol was born. With Delsol meaning of the sun in Spanish as reference to the Targa top. This type of car was very popular in Europe and US. Heck, it still is. After all, who doesn't like a fun little sports car like the 240Z, the Miata, the MR2? All of them were in this crazy battle for the coolest sports car for the masses. Peak JDM vibes.
The word Delsol is from Spanish and Delsol means of the sun. So CRX Delsol, CRX of the sun. And the Targa top design is actually something that is not very common in the history of automobiles, in fact. Corvettes, 911s are just a few cars that actually got Targa tops, and then you have this thing over here. Now, I know this is a sports car, but it's still front wheel drive, and the Delsol actually came out to compete with the Mazda Miata, and in its inaugural year of sales, it actually beat the Mazda Miata. Now, the CRX Delsol, this particular one is a 1997 car, so the similarities with other cars from Honda is pretty low because other CRX Delsol got Civic headlights, Civic taillights, but this car has some other components and that gives it that unique factor. Now, of course, being a Targa top, this is the real party trick of the car. You have the Targa and the roof of the car, basically it can be stored inside the trunk over here, can be removed and put on top, and of course you have this rollover hoop protection over here. In case the car rolls over, this pillar over here will protect your head from hitting the ground. Overall, it's a very sporty looking car, looks pretty nice. It's been resprayed in this lovely silver color paint and you have these onyx wheels also on it, and yeah, looks pretty nice.
The interior of the Delsol, like expected from the 90s, is very basic yet useful and purposeful. The owner has redone the full interior in this lovely red color, which gives it that peak 90s JDM vibe when you sit in the car. The gear shifter has also been modded to look like a short shifter and it looks really good. The dash layout and the instrument cluster looks very basic and very clean. I really like the way it looks and everything feels to be pointed towards the driver. You also get a retractable glass behind your head so you can get more driving sounds when you're pushing the car.
Now you must be wondering what powers this sporty looking car. It is a D-series Honda engine, the D16 in particular. It makes 128 horsepower and 135 Newton meters of torque. Of course, it has VTEC as well, which kicks in at 4600 RPM and it revs all the way up to 7200 RPM. Now this isn't a car that is meant for power, it's more about the driving experience. So even if it doesn't make some crazy horsepower numbers, that's not what matters. What matters is how it makes you feel, and I'm pretty sure this engine perfectly fits in to this style of car. The Delsol is not supposed to be a power monster. What it's supposed to be is a low slung, low to the ground, great handling sports car, and I think so it does that job pretty damn well. It feels like a little go-kart. And this D16 engine, well, doesn't make some crazy amounts of horsepower, but whatever it is, very engaging to drive. The gear shift is really nice. It's really easy to engage the clutch, do heel and toe, rev match and everything. And that's what is amazing about this car, is that it's so easy to drive and you don't need to be going ridiculous speeds in order to have fun in this thing. The Delsol is based on the CRX, and the CRX is, well, one of the coolest cars Honda has ever produced. Does it really compete with the Mazda Miata? I think so it doesn't, because the Miata is just on a completely different level, and the Miata, for most importantly, is rear wheel drive and this is front wheel drive, which is not a bad thing, but in order to be a true thoroughbred sports car, I think so being rear wheel drive is very important. But the Delsol has its own charm. Yes, it might not be insanely fast, it's not gonna step out on you like the Miata, but if you just want to have fun, this thing is a hoot to drive. And especially with the Targa top, you can have fun with the exhaust, you can hear the nature, you can hear the D16 going through the gears, and that is definitely an experience like no other. This is one of 7 in India, which makes it incredibly rare. Overall, the CRX Delsol is a really cool car, and if you do come across one at a good price, pick it up. I mean, Honda tuning capabilities, you can slap on a turbocharger or something, go crazy on it, because these engines can take it. Definitely is a really unique driving experience, and I don't think I've driven a car like the Delsol ever before. In fact, this is my first time ever driving a car with a Targa top, and yeah, definitely something unique. Big shout out to Trip Shop Pune for letting us cover this car. Truly is something really special, and yeah, give them a follow on Instagram. Check them out because they have some really cool Honda builds going around. And thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe to the Drivers Hub, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh, and follow us on Instagram as well.